It's been a while since the last one, hasn't it? Like what, a week, 2 weeks now?
Yeah.
Since we've done the last live stream.
Yeah, we've been kind of like slowing down.
Yeah. So yeah, this is gonna be the last live stream of the year, as as Nico tweeted. So yeah, we are very happy for our last live stream to have Jeremy Hambley with us, aka the Quartering, aka many other names I can't even remember at the moment. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us today.
Oh yeah, thanks for having me on. I hope you're both doing well.
Yeah, we're doing great.
Yep.
How are you doing?
I am tired, but I'm doing good.
It's funny too because if I remember correctly, I think you're the one that was saying, "Hey, I want to be on your live stream," and now here we are.
Yeah.
Was there? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I sent it. Yeah, I enjoy chatting it up with folks, and especially not in a kind of in a free form style. You know, like I don't mind topics and stuff like that, but I do like to just chat sometimes. So it's always good.
Yeah, this format seems to go well because like sometimes when you're like constrained to a topic, then other stuff comes up and you're like, wait, can I talk about that?
Yeah.
So to kind of start out, what motivated you to start your YouTube channel?
Well, I would say I've been YouTubing for more than 10 years now. I had a computer repair channel when I was younger. Then I had a channel about remote control cars, like hobby grade RC cars. Then a channel about Magic the Gathering, and then a channel about playing claw machines. So I've kind of been around the block. I think YouTube is my hobby. So that what it is specifically I'm talking about seems less important, or I should say it changes.
So were all those like different channels then?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, that's a lot of channels.
Yeah. That my first one ever, I think, was called Be Your Own IT. I actually sold that. I built a little company around it, selling computer repair kits. This is back when people actually still fixed their computers. Mm-hmm. I ended up selling that channel. So all the new videos are newer videos, and they ran it into the ground. But anyway, all the new videos are some other dude. But if you like look at the oldest ones, it was like me in my living room talking about like computer stuff. And I had the RC one, and the claw machine one actually was on the Today Show because of that. They flew me out there so I could talk about claw machines. It was pretty hilarious.
Wow. Okay, we're gonna.
and now they see you now, and they're like, "Oof."
Yeah.
Like, oh man, look at this guy.
Mm-hmm.
How dare we have this guy before? Oof. Oh man. So is it kind of weird though, kind of looking at those old videos and then seeing the new ones? I bet for like a person that used to be in a band and then to see their old band, that's still doing their thing. Like,
it's not that cringy to me, but I also don't have like a lot of ego. Like it is what it is. It is weird looking at the really old stuff, especially as my interest kind of changed throughout the years. But it's actually not too bad. I'm kind of the same dude now that I was 10 years ago. I just kind of look a little different and talk a little different. So it is kind of cringy at times, but I stand by it. I think it holds up.
Have you always had the beard?
Yeah, pretty much. Ever since I would say high school, just after high school. Probably I was probably 20 or something. But I briefly thought about shaving it off during the hipster beard craze, but I kind of just kept it. So yeah, it's been around. My wife talked me into shaving it one time. And she immediately replied, like when I walked out of the bathroom, she's like, "You look weird." I was like, "Fuck you! I can't just grow this back."
Yeah, I know, right? You gotta go to the wig store now. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Find some Merkins or whatever they are.
Right.
Those are for pubes, I think. But
yeah, like pubes all day.
Well, this conversation got weird real fast.
Yeah.
Oh man. So can you, I know it's like completely random, like how we were talking about pubic hair or whatever, but like completely go off of that topic. So we were kind of watching your MythCon panel that you had with Tim Pool and a couple of, I can't remember.
Claire.
Oh yeah, Claire, that's right. Claire Lehman or something like that. Gosh, I'm terrible with names.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's interesting to kind of hear different perspectives on that. You know, like how the mainstream, because for me, like kind of listening to that and how, you know, listen to everyone's different opinions, including yours. I would still want a mainstream media to be here, but I would want other means of, you know, getting your news,
like to
also
balance it out.
Yeah, to balance it, not just have 3 networks and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I think what is defined as mainstream media is kind of changing. It's still here, but it's just not on channel 4 or 6. You know, it's like people get their content from a wide variety of sources, and so it's shifting a little bit. Like I think people are getting more used to, or they're getting more woke on trust but verify. So when I consume news, it's almost, I mean, I don't even pay for TV anymore, but if I hear something through the grapevine or I see, you know, someone brings it up, usually I'll look through a mainstream media article because it's the most readily available, and then also go into it knowing what biases they likely have, and then kind of use that to then, for example, if it's something about government or something, I may go and I'm like, oh, Styx has probably covered this, and so I'll get somebody else's perspective on it. It's gotten more difficult to get educated now. There's like fewer things that you can know about if you really want to know stuff. Sorry for the tangent, but it's just interesting to me how like there's so many things that if you're like interested in it, you want to talk about it or learn about it, figure out what the deal is. Let's say this migrant caravan thing, right?
Right.
It's like people have to like let other things just pass because it takes so long to actually try and verify what the hell is even close to the truth.
Oh, sorry. You look like you're.
No, what I was going to say is that everyone just has their, I guess, because people put just so much emotion into it that they can't really think straight in terms of just looking at, I guess, I don't know, the facts or just looking at other different sources to kind of maybe balance out their own views. But I guess people are so biased that they don't want to do that anyway. I don't know.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I also think that it's difficult to know what the facts even are anymore. You know, like unless I'm watching unedited video of something, it's hard for me to really trust it anymore, which is crazy to think just 5 years ago or 10 years ago, I would have consumed things in a completely different way.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to, like you said, to trust that because now you're like, okay, well, is that just their like spin on things or is that actually what's going on?
Yeah, there probably is more truth coming from the mainstream media than we know or than we think, but it's just like, damn, you know, like, I mean, you saw, for example, there's this meme going around where an MSNBC reporter was like down embedded with the migrant caravan, and he was like, yeah, it's mostly men. And so like everybody on the left was like, oh, he's a traitor, and everyone on the right was like, ha, owned, you know. And it was just, I was kind of just like, oh yeah, looks like he's actually reporting. Like, this is good. I mean, but I was watching him walk through you know, I could see that it was mostly men and he was just saying something that I could see with my own eyes. But at the same time, I was like, okay, well, you know, this guy appears to be telling the truth. There's got to be good journalists out there still. It's just hard to find them.
Yeah, I think they get kind of, I guess, sucked up into the system because they have to kind of do what they're told, even if they wanted to do something that would be, what do you call it? I guess like even if they have integrity, they can't do everything because their higher ups want them to do something else.
Yeah, I mean, you just mentioned too that, you know, when the left saw that, you know, that guy talk about, oh, it's just men, and then all left is like, oh my God, how dare you? Why would you say that? And then the right's like, yeah, woohoo, and high five each other, like, yeah, fuck that guy, fuck MSNBC. You know, it's just like, Jesus Christ, can we at least like take that shit away for a minute?
Yeah, it's not about winning. News has become about like owning, and it's it's kind of like, oh wait, yeah, let's take a minute from like tweeting about something and be like, okay, well, okay, this is what's going on with the migrant caravan, not what everybody's, fucking ice cream flavors come out, from Ben and Jerry's to do that. It's like, oh, okay. I think there's fewer people now interested in the actual, like you said, like the actual truth. Or one of you said something along this, I forget, but the actual news and more about poning people, and it's fucking dumb.
It's like a giant game now, or at least online anyway. That's what it seems like to me.
Say that again. Sorry.
It just kind of seems like a giant game now, like to a lot of people online,
especially on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a lot of times people, for example, like when I interact with a lot of people who watch my content, I think they might wrongfully assume, for example, that I'm like, a lot of more conservative leaning people watch my content, but I don't even consider myself that conservative. It's just that like there's this air, maybe not that much, but there's kind of like this magnetism of people who are like just looking for some place where they can trust somebody. And I think where the fuck was I going with this? You're saying something about Twitter owning. I think I wanted to lean into like, people watch a lot of the videos. There. Now I got it back on track. People watch a lot of the videos that I watch or that I do, and I'll be like making fun of SJWs or something like that, left-wing SJWs. Mm-hmm. And I'll also try to remind people that like there's a shitload of right-wing SJWs too. It's not an exclusively left thing. I would call Cernovich a right-wing SJW. A lot of the same outrage mobs trying to get people fired. They just got that CNN guy fired over some joke about Israel or something. And it's so sad that this is where the discourse is. It's just about owning people and getting over on people all the time rather than just trying to discuss what's on hand.
Yeah, some of the times I'm thinking like, are these people, do they actually believe what they believe, or are they just kind of wanting to stir the pot,
Yeah, right. I think I think of that oftentimes, especially on Twitter. I find myself using it less. I should say like deeply engaging with people less. Because it's just like, I don't believe that I'm having an authentic conversation unless we're like sitting at the pub and we're talking face to face. When it's over the internet, I'm just like, oh, okay, well, do you even believe, like you said, do you even believe what the hell you're saying? Why are you having this conversation? It's like a lot of these people that call themselves debaters are just really masters at gotchas. They're not really smart. They're not as smart as they think they are. They argue, but they don't really have conversations or debate. And I think that is a product of ponage culture, of this, news or memes and, Twitter and just all this garbage.
Yeah, you mentioned debate, and there is this article or this opinion piece that someone released. You know what I'm talking about? That girl who...
Yeah, well, her point, it was what was her name? Her name's like Becca. She's the one who wrote the Data and Society piece about, like it's a conspiracy.
Was it her, or was she just sharing it?
She was sharing the article that I was talking about, like the one where it said that there's no point in debating anyone, but she actually wrote the Data and Society piece.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, I was going to say with that was that the whole point for her reasoning to not debate someone was because it was something along the lines like, it's not about getting the facts. It's about like, making someone... Tactics. Yeah, isn't it what it was? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, like just persuading someone. You can persuade someone based on emotion. I mean, I kind of agree with that. But then, like, their point to the article was like, well, then we should just not debate and we should shut down people who want to debate.
When was this? I feel like I read this article.
This was about 2 days ago.
Yeah. Okay. I remember reading something along these lines. It might have been that, or maybe somebody was talking. I definitely. I would agree that it's like debate is dead because it's never in good faith. It's like I use that often when people will want to discuss things with me, And sadly, it just turns me off from ever really wanting to discuss things, because you never really know what somebody's motivations are, and they're almost never pure. They're not, they don't want to discuss things in good faith. They want to just yell or, straw man and all this stuff. And it's just, discourse is dead.
Yeah, it's kind of sad because I think I still think that debate is important, because otherwise people's ideas can't be challenged. But then it's like you said, also, some of the debate is pointless because they're just trying to get across some sort of agenda or like sway people based on emotion.
Well, what do you look at what most Americans see as a debate is going to be the presidential debate, right?
Mhm.
And those things are joke. They'll be like, is water wet? Well, Hillary did this, or like, they don't even answer the questions. Or you end up with, freaking people leaking the questions, just
Right.
This is what most people see debate as. And then they go out there and they're like, this is how I debate. I just scream. I don't listen to what the other person is. I don't even answer the question at hand. I'm just here to be a moron.
You can say that, well, you'd be in jail, like Trump said to Hillary.
That was a good quip, though.
Yeah.
I accept that
Right.
as in the debate forum, but not when they just don't answer the question. That drives me insane.
Or when they ask them a question and then they go on a tangent and they take a right turn or something and they just completely not answer the question,
Right.
but they answer like some other random question that was never asked. And just like, what the fuck is the point?
Well, because they see it as a platform, right? They're like, okay,
Right.
10 million people are watching. I want them to know how I feel about climate change. They're not going to ask me that in the debate. So I'll just say it when they ask me a completely unrelated question.
Yeah, debate's kind of stupid, but I don't know. Like Nico was saying, it also kind of serves a purpose to kind of challenge one's ideas, and even your own ideas too. Have your own ideas challenged, which I think a lot of people don't want to have done. Because I know for me personally, I have a lot of ideas or beliefs, whatever. But whenever I see I follow people who I don't agree with, but I like to see their points because it's just an interesting way to look at things, to see how other people think.
Yeah, I think if people can get off the like dopamine drip of extremism on any side, right?
Right.
Or hyperbole, and really find, it's like you could say, okay, if you want to follow what the left is saying, don't follow the Young Turks. Find somebody who's like sane, middle of the road type commentator, as opposed to going all the way to the extremes. Or I would say people would do better to just like not spend their time listening to people on the far left or the far right, but to try and find people in the middle, because then if that's the world you live in, you'll find yourself in agreement probably, significant amount of time, both scenarios. Like there are things that conservatives believe that non-insane liberals believe. And if people would focus on that, discussion could be more constructive, as opposed to, everybody I don't like is alt-right or Russian bot. Like, what good does that do? That doesn't even, what is it even? A distraction. It doesn't have any conversation or any value. I mean,
I found when you speak with people who are more, I guess, center left or center right, in the middle, you can agree with a lot of things, but then also the debate on specific issues becomes actual debate, like where you're actually getting something done, instead of just insulting each other. So then it's harder. And I think that's why a lot of people think they're debating, but they're not really debating, because it's hard to do.
Orange man, bad.
Yeah, right. I mean, it's the part of what makes memes great. Like the NPC meme might be the best meme of 2018. And and they don't ever get, like, typically when they're really big, there's some kernel of truth in them. And like that is, and people on the left and the right, there are people who are like die hard, Trump can do no wrong, and then there's orange man bad. They're both NPCs. And if you, like you said, if you reach out to the, if you want to follow people center left, like you said, or center right, when you disagree, you're not so far apart. Whereas like you're talking to somebody on the far left and they want socialism, where does that conversation go? You're just wrong, in my opinion. Like if you want socialism, what we have no conversation to have. I'm just going to make fun of you. So it's better to spend your time talking to people who aren't mental.
Yeah, and same thing on the other side too. Like it's just more productive to speak with someone who you can get some sort of middle ground, even if it's like fundamental issues that you can disagree on. At least you can talk it out civilly, and then you kind of understand their point of view, and then you maybe would have a different perspective.
Yeah, I mean, it's like if people could also focus on actual issues, like bite-sized issues. For example, if I'm talking to somebody we would generally disagree, but we're talking about a specific policy or something, that's way more productive than trying to debate or have a conversation with somebody about immigration. Or, just like abortion. I can't even believe that presidents are still running on that as, as a platform. I mean, honestly, how many people are really voting that way anymore? On like single issue voters. I guess there must be some, otherwise it wouldn't be. I got to trust their data, but it's crazy to me that you'd vote for somebody based on their opinion on one thing.
Yeah, and especially like trying to like talk someone out of such a broad issue when like a lot of the times, like especially with like abortion or immigration, there's so many things. I mean, it's like more complicated than just black or white,
Yeah,
like,
right.
Most people aren't even one side or the other.
Yeah, you go, poor choice. What if their brother raped her? Okay, well, okay, fine. You want to, you know what I mean? Like that's how a lot of people debate nowadays. They talk fast and then they get you to like contradict yourself, or they'll be like, what about this case? Like this 1 in a million chance. Oh, well, if that happens, that destroys your whole point. No, it's a 1 in a million scenario. Let's not even worry about that. Let's worry about the practicality of more black babies were killed last year in New York than born. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, you want to talk about that? We can talk about that. But I'm not going to waste time talking about some, crazy 1 in a million scenario.
Well, let me tell you something. The facts, they don't care about your feelings, okay? They don't care about your feelings.
Yeah, this is epic. Shapiro being on PewDiePie was also one of my favorite memes of 2018.
Yeah, that was Ben Shapiro on one of PewDiePie's
that
videos.
was like, I was kind of surprised. I was like,
people were so pissed.
Yeah, I know, they were so mad.
I guarantee you he did that knowing that it was going to piss people off. He didn't do it. Yeah. Oh yeah, I love Ben Shapiro. I want him on. No, he knew it was going to piss people off.
I think Pewds leans. He's probably like a center right guy. I don't think he's, but who knows? He lives in a different country, so what they call, I have friends in the UK that would say like, what I consider conservative. I'm sorry, what I consider like democratic is like ultra far left there. I'm not saying that right. Overton window, is that what I'm talking about? Like, people in the UK are so far left that it's insane. So I don't know what's up with where PewDiePie lives, but I would assume he's slightly right, or at least he's like anti insanity.
Well, I think with all the stuff that happened to him, especially with the Wall Street Journal, I think that really pushed him over the edge. Like, fuck this. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, he got pretty woke after that.
Yeah. How the media treated him like shit. Yeah.
Well, somebody calls you, horrible things. Although I will say, as much as I don't think PewDiePie is a terrible man, that's probably not the first time he said that. Like, it doesn't just slip out of your mouth.
Right.
But there's also, context matters. It wasn't like he was sticking his finger in a black guy's face and saying it You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it was just more of like, he was frustrated. Wasn't he frustrated at a game or something?
Yeah, I was playing
Yeah,
video games, and when you play video games, emotions come out, and people say stuff that just it's bad. When you lose, yeah, I know that feeling.
Yeah, I disavow obviously, but I also disavow anyone who would call him anything but a bonehead. He made a mistake.
Right.
Because that was on a live stream, right?
Yeah,
I believe so. Yeah, I think I had to take
probably the last time you ever live streamed too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
the one thing about live streams that we all know pretty well is you can't edit them. So
yeah, once they're out, it's over.
Yeah.
All you can do is delete them.
Yeah. Nowadays there's a wave of YouTube channels that like exist solely to clip, and they're really stretching the definition of fair use. Where they just basically rip streams and like re-upload them. I don't know how I feel about that, but if you delete it, it won't matter. Someone watching this video right now is probably recording it in case something crazy happens. And
we're gonna start saying some crazy shit.
All right, get ready. Here we go. 1, 2.
No.
I was kidding. Got some stuff I want to take out of my chest. You ready?
Well,
right. Yeah.
We had people cut parts of our live streams out and take them out of context, so that was fun.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a slippery slope because I do fight pretty strongly for fair use, but here's an example. Like everyone's just like this poor guy. He's a meme. I get it, but like Wings of Redemption, he has like 5 people that just constantly record his entire Twitch streams and upload them to YouTube. And like, it's just like, that's not fair use. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I don't believe that it is. Your intent was not to transform it at all. Your intent is to just steal it and run ads on it, which is fucking pathetic. I would 100% support him, protecting his content in that manner. Now, if they want to use it and do mashups and whatever, cool. 100% support that. But when I see these just like, of just streams ripped, even from like my channel too, I'm like, ugh, you know what? I'm not going to do anything about it, but it's kind of scummy.
Yeah, it is kind of shitty to do that. Cause I mean, like, it makes sense if like it's your own stream and you like cut little parts out and like make other videos. But then it's kind of sucks when someone else just steals your content basically and re-uploads it.
Right. It's not fair use. It's just not. Now, it's definitely one of those things where like I'd have to side with it being fair use. Like, when the chips are down, I'd have to side with it being fair use. But it is like literally it's like a cunt hair away from not being fair use. Because it just isn't, in my opinion. But I'd have to side with, it being that. Sargon got in trouble with this lawsuit thing because he cut a clip out and then just renamed it, and his point is that like the name was something like, I don't even remember, but it was something like so-and-so contradicting themselves. And that was just like her clip. It's really close. That's another one of those, like, I'd have to support it as fair use, but the minimal is like the least amount of work you could do to transform it.
So he didn't put any like commentary or anything?
No.
Oh. That's unlike him. That's weird.
Well, yeah, it is. And it was an old thing. And I mean, his point is that his commentary was the title. But again, I would support him. I would side with him, but it's really, yeah.
Yeah. So speaking of shitty things that have happened, you had a shitty thing happen to you at I think it was Gen Con. Is that correct? Where you got attacked?
Yeah.
That's how I found your channel, actually.
Yeah, a few people did. So I guess it turned out to be an okay thing. Yeah, it was nuts. A perfect example of somebody that really has no idea who you really are. And like this guy, I've never interacted with him ever. We've never spoken to him, never, made videos about him. None of that. He's just a maniac, because I made a video criticizing Gen Con bringing Anita Sarkeesian there. And you know why I criticized it is because it brings shit like this. And sure enough, look what happened. I was right.
So you
I was 100% right.
Oh, so you're okay with her being there or not being there? I'm sorry.
No, I didn't want her there.
Oh,
She
okay.
had nothing to do with look, it's their money. You know what I mean?
Right.
They can bring whoever they want. I'm just an attendee. But my whole point was that this is a woman that has done nothing but divide and cause trouble everywhere she goes. She has not done anything of merit in 5 years. Why is she here? And this guy, in my opinion, attacked me over it, which is insane.
Yeah.
It's
Because he
basically
had made some, post saying,
point.
what's that?
The guy who attacked you just basically just proved your point.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's why I say in the court documents, it said, look, if you have a problem with this, you thank you for proving my point, you idiot.
When I was hearing you first describe it, though, I was like, that is like legit, like really scary. Like that's.
Yeah, he could have killed you. I
that's
mean, I'm sure if he really
ridiculous.
wanted to, because he hated you, apparently, he could have killed you if he wanted to.
Well, what I try to tell people about it is like, if you're willing to go that far over a disagreement with a video somebody makes, like he could have very easily have had a knife. You know what I mean? Or, something. It could have been way worse than it was. And a lot of people who have an issue with like me pressing charges because they're dumb, they're like, oh, well, you didn't die. Yeah, okay. So what? He should have no real world consequences for that so that he can feel free to do it again. You know what I mean? Like I had him on video admitting to doing it at a previous Gen Con to somebody else.
Wow.
So, I mean, what am I supposed to do? Have go and take the law into my own hands? No, that doesn't make you any better than them.
Yeah, and this was in Indiana, which is a state that I lived in for about 10 years. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, neither of us are from Indiana, so we'll.
At least he's not from Indiana then.
Yeah, the police were not helpful, but I guess I look at it from their perspective, and it's some guy, at 2:00 in the morning at a bar saying he was attacked. He's probably like, yeah, whatever. It's just a bar fight. I was trying to explain to him that, like, no, this guy like hunted me down. I mean, I have no idea who this guy was. I had no interaction with him previous to seeing him during the attack. But nonetheless, it was a thing that happened, and now I'm still going to go to conventions, but it's going to have to change the way I attend them and the hours in which I attend them, or if I bring some level of security. Because the thing is, like, for the other crazy people like him, this emboldens them. You should have seen some of the stuff people were sending me about from the like private Facebook groups of people LARPing about finishing me off and stuff like that.
Jeez.
Over like disagreeing with, Anita Sarkeesian. These people are insane.
And the fucked up thing is you were banned from the convention.
Yeah, I know, right?
Makes no sense.
I mean, I thought I didn't think they were going to ban him, but I actually do understand why they had to ban both of us, because if they just banned me, the far left would have killed him. There are in that gaming industry, especially board gaming, just like video games, there is a lot of vocal minority far left terrorists. And if they would have banned him, but not me, they probably had just no choice. It's like two people out of an event that hosts for 75,000 people. They just can't.
Isn't it crazy though that games were supposed to be something that you could have fun with and
Bring people together.
Yeah, but now it's just you disagree with me on one thing, get the fuck out of my face. You can't play fucking Dungeons and Dragons with me. Fuck you.
Well, that's a thing. Which is the extraordinarily the excruciating part about it is that escapism is sacred to me. whatever your form of it is, whether it's board games or trading card games or knitting or whatever, everyone's got to have that space where they can just go get away from it all. And then somewhere along the lines, people who literally can't live their life without talking about politics got into these industries and made them what they are, which is just another avenue for them to talk about politics all the time. You think like your average gamer gives a two shits about anything these people talk about on Twitter? No. So then they hijack hobbies and force it on people.
Yeah, especially online, you know, when you're playing, you know, like a shooting game or something, the main thing you're thinking about is killing people and not dying. You don't care about, hey, what'd you say on Twitter? Oh man, I can't play with you.
Right. Nobody gives a shit. It's just like just a few people at these companies. Unfortunately, I mean, there are good companies out there, but most of the really big ones have a real, I mean, you can look at what happened to the comic book industry, and what'll happen is a lot of times if you speak out against this stuff, these same people will paint you as all sorts of terrible things and ignore the reality. If you look at what's happening with comic books over this past summer, you know, people pushing back against this like forced diversity and forced, you know, storylines and stuff like that, they just get painted automatically as someone who has a problem with it. Like they'll say like, oh, they made Thor a woman. Why? Oh, you have a problem with strong women? No, I have a problem with you like hijacking an existing character and making it a woman for feminism, you know, but it's becomes really hard to debate those people because then they'll just say, you know, oh, well, you have a problem with gays? No, I don't have a problem with gay people. I whatever. But why did you make Iceman gay? That's fucking weird. You know what I mean? Like, why don't you just make a new character that is gay? Why are you rewriting history to push a narrative? And look, the sales bear out. It's not like any of these things have been a big success. You know, female Thor, Iceman got canceled, then rebooted. I mean, all these, every time they try to force diversity, nobody buys it. So it's just like, I think if you could do a character organically, incoming tangent, but this is like something near and dear to my heart, but there's a problem like when you're lazy and you can't write characters, they become like a meme of themselves. They're like they write gay characters, not characters who are gay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. It's like centered around that instead of the character. Yeah.
Like it'd be the same thing as if you had gay friends in real life and everything you talked about was them being gay. Do you think they would like that? No, of course not. They just want to get along like anyone else. Just whatever hole they prefer is, you know, when they're in their own bedroom, that's what, you know, the only time it really matters to them most, in my experience. Now I live in the Midwest, so, you know, most gay couples that I know are pretty based, but they're, you know, they're not living in California or anything like that. So who knows? But that's where you get into problems with the industry, is when it gets forced in and it sucks. So it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. They make this like paper thin character whose sexuality is like everything. The book flops, and then they say, well, look at all comic book fans are homophobes.
It's like, wow, well, you just basically set yourself up.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And well, and I think it's because a lot of these people, like the far left, and I use this as an example because show me a far right situation that's ever happened, you know, in these scenarios. I can't name one. So these people come in and they're just not very good at their job, but they have the right politics. So they get on the book because of the, you know, it's like not what you know, but who you blow sort of thing. And then they, not maybe necessarily, but by blow, I mean, have the same politics for a lot of these folks. But, you know, you get on a book and then you suck. And then the book, you know, it's like, oh, well, the character's gay now. So if it gets canceled, really, you know, no, it's not going to blow back on me. America's just not ready for a gay Iceman. Wasn't my fault.
Yeah, it's not like, you know, female superheroes exist already, like Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel. I mean, Captain Marvel's about to have her own movie come out. So
Yeah, if it would have been anybody but Brie Larson, I'd be excited about it. But I really dislike her. But right. I mean, the thing is like, are there sexist people out there? Of course. Are there racist people? Of course. But most people aren't. The overwhelming majority of people aren't. So this whole idea that, a movie would flop simply because of somebody being a woman or somebody being gay is absurd. Wonder Woman crushed at the theater. I saw it opening weekend. It was awesome. At no point were you like, oh, this is a woman superhero. You were just watching Wonder Woman.
Yep.
And that's what good writing does. It doesn't matter about who or what gender somebody is or sexuality. If the story is good, it's good.
Well, then you can go on the another movie, Ghostbusters, that came out and completely changed the gender, and that was like one of the focal points, and nobody really gave a fuck.
Well, yeah, I mean the thing is too with that film, that was just a marketing disaster. First of all, the movie is just objectively bad.
Mm-hmm.
It was like haunted mansion special effects with like queef jokes. It was very bad, but it probably would have never seen the backlash it did if the marketing wasn't like attacking the customers and saying like, well, if you don't want to see this shitty Ghostbusters movie, it's because you're a sexist. Mm-hmm. That never works. It's like EA with their don't like it, don't buy it bullshit. Like, okay, fine, we won't.
Well, also, there was that movie. What was it called?
Which one are you thinking of?
With Natalie Portman.
Annihilation.
Yeah, Annihilation.
That was a good movie.
Yeah, that was a good movie. Mostly all female cast. Well, mostly female cast, and it bombs in the box office. But it's a good science fiction movie.
It did bomb in the box office. What was funny is I was talking about that with my wife because the trailers were awesome. Yeah. It was like one of those movies that I was just like, I didn't go and see it for whatever reason, And then I wouldn't say the movie was amazing, but I watched it. I rented it, either watched it on Netflix or I rented it or something. It was pretty good. And no point was it not good because they were women,
right.
Yeah, you just don't think about that when you're watching it, which is good.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think a lot of things are ruined by marketing. A lot of things are ruined by journalists. It's like, would the Ghostbusters, was that really what Sony wanted? Did they really want them to attack the old fandom and call everybody sexist? Or for example, like with the Star Wars movie, did Star Wars really want Lando Calrissian being pansexual to be a major plot? Or is that something that the media ran with? Most people watching the movie don't give a shit. But because there's a million articles about it and it's getting crammed in our face, like, well, if you're not cool with this, you're not woke. Guy having sex with robots. A lot of that just gets made worse by mainstream media. I think people would enjoy movies a lot better if they never saw a review or ever saw any like marketing on it,
Well, from my understanding of the Solo movie and with his character, I think it was the directors when they were asked the question about his sexuality, whatever. Hey, would you be, how do you think you'd be okay with him being pansexual? Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I'd be fine.
Right.
And then they ran with it. Like, oh my God, Lando Calrissian it's official. He's pansexual. Oh my God. Ah.
Yep. I think that's about exactly.
And then you watch the movie, and it's like it doesn't even. It's nothing. Like, who cares? I mean, like you were saying, nobody cares. I mean, the movie's. It's all right anyway, but that's all.
Movie's a mediocre Star Wars film at best. But I wouldn't have said it's like a steaming pile of shit if it weren't for a lot of the marketing around it.
They should have said something about that robot. That robot was annoying as fuck.
That robot was the worst.
Worst part of the movie by far.
Well, she was like an SJW too. She was like, robot rights. I'm like, wait a minute, didn't you like destroy the planet during the Clone Wars? Why should I care? What do you mean? Get fucked.
Yeah.
But that was a huge plot hole too. But I think most people are just casual fans of stuff. And if you just like, I look at my wife who is super normie. Like, she doesn't have a Twitter. She doesn't use Facebook. She doesn't read online reviews. She doesn't Like, she's just like, whatever. And it keeps me sane.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of times of like, oh man, I probably would have seen Ocean's 13 if it wasn't like every article I read about it was about how fucking woke it was.
Ocean's 8 with Sandra
I'm
Bullock.
sorry, 8. You're right. Yeah. 13 was actually, yeah. But it's like, I'm engrossed in it all the time. And it's like, nope, not going to see it.
Yeah, I remember a couple instances with the Ghostbusters movie. I remember what's his name, James Rolfe, saying, "I'm not going to watch it." Nope.
He got destroyed by that. Fucking Patton Oswalt talks shit about him too.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I remember that, and he gave his reasons, and they were legit. It's like there's no way that this movie is going to be any better than this original movie, because the original is one of my all-time favorites.
Right.
So, and then going with Solo, and how in Red Letter Media, when they were talking about that movie, one of the things about the robot was, are they like legit making this robot? Like, are they being serious with it, or are they like poking fun at SJWs and how like ridiculous they are? Because I don't know. I really don't know what they were doing with that robot.
Yeah, they could have been. They could have been. There were moments in here's a good example too, and to like put things in perspective, like if you look at the James Rolfe video, like everyone thought it was just so like he was just such a raving misogynist and blah blah blah. It has 150,000 upvotes and 7,000 downvotes. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
So who's right? And if you look at during Deadpool 2, I saw it with a friend of mine and my wife again, who knows nothing about like SJWs and whatever stuff. He was saying, he was like, oh, there's all this SJW stuff in the movie. And I was like, are you sure? I kind of felt like they were making fun of him. So like, that same scenario, where is it? Because like, Ryan Reynolds had all these lines about like, we're gender fluid and I thought he was goofing on him, but it like ruined the movie for him. And that's just because of like everyone else. It's not even the movie's fault.
I kind of felt the same as you. I thought that they were just kind of poking fun at that. I don't know. Maybe it was serious. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. But I thought he was goofing on him. But
from my understanding, and I'm not such an expert in the comics like you are, but from my understanding, Domino is already she's already a female character. She's been female pretty much her entire
forever. Yeah. She's always. Yeah.
So I don't know, like having her in the story. I mean, that's great. I mean, she's a strong female. Great, have her. But then I don't know.
She's fine as hell too. That helped.
Yeah. I mean, well, then they had that woman with Keira Knightley when she played Domino, but that was obviously before the Ryan Reynolds Deadpool movie.
Yeah. I mean, Domino's a good character. She's just not a main. The thing is, there's a lot of supporting cast characters, and there's a lot of main cast characters. Domino is great as a supporting role. Could I watch a 2-hour Domino movie? No. It would just be too much of the shtick, it'd just be too much. Although 2 hours of Deadpool is kind of a lot of shtick too. But I think, go ahead. Well, I was going to say that Wonder Woman, she's big. She can carry movies. She doesn't need to be one of the Avengers. She can have her own series, and she's that badass.
Yeah, and from my understanding with this Deadpool sequel, I think the original director wanted to do something different, but Ryan Reynolds wanted to continue the the Deadpool shtick, and so the original director was pretty much let go, or he left because of creative differences, and then they brought in the director they brought in to.
Interesting. Yeah, I wonder how he wanted to change it.
I'm not really sure exactly, but I don't know. Maybe put more. I don't know. I'm just speculating and assuming, but maybe put more of a serious spin to it. I'm not really sure.
I prefer the serious, like the dark. I loved, obviously the Dark Knight trilogy or the Batman trilogy, Christopher Nolan.
Right.
Loved it. Were the movies all were they life changing? Like some people say, no, probably not. But I thought they were very good and dark. Like I like when important people get killed off in movies. I don't want every movie to just be like, there's got to be stakes. You know, it can't be like I couldn't watch the A Team in current year because nobody ever dies.
Yeah.
And like you have to have stakes. And so I like when movies do that, when bad things happen, because it feels more real then.
Is there a movie that you watched where stakes like that was, it was like that, it was part of the movie and you're just like, oh man, this is an amazing movie, I love it.
With high stakes?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I think the John Wick series is pretty good.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but like, it's there's just a lot of good movies where you're like, some major character gets killed off early, and then it kind of fuels the rest of the film, or the main actor. For example, like when Batman encounters Scarecrow, and he gets like that shit on him, and he gets his ass kicked, and like he was human, like he almost died, and that just makes the movie better to me, for me. Or like Tombstone. Tombstone's one of my all-time favorites, and they lose somebody in the fight.
Oh yeah.
They like that shit. That's always good for me.
Yeah, when one of the major characters dies. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I guess with Batman, I mean, Batman's not gonna die, but
right.
I guess when you feel like there's a possibility, then it's good. But when you watch a movie, especially like with the main character, and you're just like, there's no way you're gonna like you're saying with the A Team, they're always gonna get out. They're always gonna have a happy ending. It's just like it's like
Right. Nobody even gets shot. They fire 1 million bullets an episode. Not one person hits a thing.
That's kind of how I feel with the Jackie Chan movies.
Yeah,
whenever
Jackie Chan's so wholesome though.
Yeah,
I got a soft spot in my heart for Chan.
Yeah. What's your favorite movie of his?
Probably Rumble in the Bronx.
Oh, good choice. Good choice.
Yeah. I didn't hate the films with him and Chris Tucker. What were those called? He did like 3 of them.
Rush Hour. They're making a 4th one. Apparently, they're going to make a 4th one. I don't know when that's going to happen, but
that's too many. But those are all right. Those are 90s movies. They were just 90s action films. But I always give Chan a lot of credit for doing his own stunts, and he did like some. That just reminds me. I thought he was in like a more serious movie. I meant to go see it, and I never did.
The Foreigner.
Yeah, The Foreigner. Was it not good?
That's a really good movie. He actually does really well with his acting, and the action's like pretty brutal. I mean, it's not like, I wouldn't say it's like John Wick brutal, if we're comparing it to modern days, but in terms of like that atmosphere and that type of world, it's really good. I mean, don't expect like Rumble in the Bronx type action, especially now how old he is, but it's for what it is, it's really good. It's probably one of his, that one and a movie that's completely different tone, Around the World in 80 Days. Those are my 2 favorite Hollywood movies that he's done so far.
Yeah. Well, he the thing is too, like a lot of movies now, people don't see them because this is like a new, I want to get this thing like to be a 2019. Like, don't like when you want to see a movie, don't look at Rotten Tomatoes, don't look at Metacritic. I find Google reviews to be more fair and like more representative of how I'm going to feel. And you see like that movie got a 55% on Metacritic, but 89% of Google reviews liked it. So that's like, okay, everyone that watched it and rated this movie, an overwhelming percentage of them liked it. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 65%. Fuck off. It's probably a fine movie.
What did you think of Wolf of Wall Street?
That was okay. I saw it in the theater. Had a lot of good memes in it. Was that the one with the you cook with? It's a microwave. It cooks with science.
Yeah.
He gets like the microwave, and then his wife like blows it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was okay. I think DiCaprio's if I had to pick like probably a guy that has almost never let me down in movies, it's him. I wouldn't say he's like my favorite actor, but I would say like the guy's he's probably the best male actor out there, in my opinion. At least you look at his body of work. Current, I'll say current. Mm-hmm. if we go all the way back to like Basketball Diaries, you know,
Yeah.
he's been in a million awesome movies. I really, I thought he was really, really good in The Revenant.
Yeah.
Thought that was awesome. I mean, a movie that like defined my high school was that Romeo and Juliet movie. As dumb as it was, like that was a huge movie when I was in high school. Everybody, it was like date movie. Everyone saw it.
Mm-hmm.
But he's always been good. He's good in Django. He was good in, just Inception. He's just been in so many, all the way back to What's Eating Gilbert Grape when he was just like a little kid.
So I don't know what you think about this idea, but I don't know why I just thought of it too while we were talking about Leonardo DiCaprio, because he's really good in Django. He's like supposed to be like the villain of the movie. But for some reason, a guy that I always felt would make a good villain, and I'm sure people are going to disagree with me, I always thought Adam Sandler would make a good villain in a movie.
I think I could see it.
I don't know why. Like, if you put him, obviously with any actor, you put him in the right movie and in a good script and a good director.
It would have to be so good for him to overcome being fucking Billy Madison, though. Like, people will just look at him.
That's to overcome that. Like, oh, look at this goofy guy. I don't think that's to do that. I mean, Robin Williams was a goofy guy, but I don't know. Comparing him to Robin Williams, but
here I was gonna say, you know what was actually I think an underrated movie, 1 Hour Photo.
Yes,
he plays a fucking maniac.
Best Robin Williams performance in my
I thought that movie was awesome. I don't even know. I don't know if it was big at the time or not, but I saw it in the theater and I thought it was awesome.
Well, time for me to see it, right?
And the reason because I know I'm sorry for people who've asked questions in the chat. I'll get to them here in a little bit.
Oh yeah, go ahead. We can finish this thought.
But the reason why I said Adam Sandler would make a good villain is because he's in a movie with Don Cheadle, and oh man, now I can't remember what it's called now. But it's Adam Sandler and Don Cheadle. When you Google it, it's there. I can't remember what the name of it at the moment. But he's so good in that because he plays a guy whose family's killed in 9/11. And he's such an emotional wreck. And he gets
I remember that. Was it where they were firemen or something?
I think so, yeah. Rain Over Me. That's what it's called. Rain Over Me.
Oh, okay.
So if you guys look that movie up and watch it, he's really good in it. I think it's his best performance that he's done. Like, some people kind of look at like Punch Drunk Love or Spanglish as more of like a serious movies. But Rain Over Me is really good. Like, when there's a scene where he like gets really emotional, and I'm like, holy shit, this guy can act. If he can, if he can get it out there, he'd be a good villain. He could be a good.
He could play a good like broken man kind of thing, where he starts off being happy and something horrible happens to him, and he turns into like some kind of or he could be like he could definitely play a huge asshole.
Yes.
Or
I mean, if anything, if he even wants to go on a more comedic route, just play a more what do they call it, like a parody of himself. That'd be kind of funny.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So like for Jackie Chan, going back to him, my favorite movie is Police Story. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, it's classic, man.
Yes. Anytime I'm able to plug that movie. That's a good one. Anytime, if you guys have ever want to watch a Jackie Chan movie and you've never seen it, Police Story, bar none, my favorite by far.
He's so young in that too.
Yeah, it's 85 when it was released. Yeah,
yeah.
That was when he was starting to reach that peak of his popularity, because that was like after Project A and Drunken Master. Oh.
Well, this is back in Hong Kong still, right?
Yes.
Yeah. It's crazy that he had 2 careers basically. It's it's happened before. Like, for example, in baseball, you have the Ichiro Suzuki, who was like a great baseball player in the Japanese league. Right. Then he came to Major League Baseball and got his 3,000th hit, which is a huge milestone here. 2 separate careers. Now, he made a lot more money here,
right?
Which is why people make the move. I guess I can't blame him.
Yeah, you're right. He's had a great. It's like, I don't know, a great career both in the Japanese baseball and here in the major leagues. Yeah.
And he was like, 35-year-old rookie or something like that. Like he was coming over And to amass 3,000 hits when you probably already passed your prime, well, close to your prime, moving here after having a whole career in Japan, it's impressive. You should be a Hall of Famer.
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, so like I was saying before, I was gonna go to some of the chat questions because I did see some, so I'm gonna try and go back up. So someone, and I actually was gonna ask about this, so thank you for mentioning it. But they were talking about a tweet that you did recently, probably today, I believe. We were talking about how award shows are irrelevant.
Yeah.
So like, and I kind of agree with you because before there was a time where I gave a fuck about the Oscars. I did care about the Emmys and who would win and the Grammys. I was into that shit. Now I'm like, oh, Best Picture, I don't care, whatever. So
was there a specific question about it?
So basically, what they're asking, and I'll read their question. I left a response on one of your tweets about award shows being irrelevant. Are they the Oscars of video games now?
Oh, well, I don't think anything could quite duplicate just how far the Oscars have fallen. But I would say that the video game awards suck for all the same reasons the Oscars suck now. Where somebody gets Best Actor in 2018, you don't even have to question. You know that there's some like political motivation. They're all good. It's like you nominate 4 people. I'm like, wait, why did this person win? Wait, why did this movie win? And I think people picked up on that. And people tuned in. My sister used to have Oscar parties. Mm-hmm. And like with her, she had a gay roommate, and they would have like a huge party because it doesn't really matter that he was gay, but I always gave him shit for being into the Oscars because he was like 18 or 17 or something, and he was into it. But it felt like back then it was pure and escapist. Now it's like, oh, they win a film. What political tirade are they going to go on when they get up on stage? And everyone just stopped tuning in. I feel like the video game world, the video game awards are exactly the same. And it's going to be the same shit this year. So I guess a long answer, yes.
They're irrelevant.
Yeah. Well, just look at the ratings. They're like as low as they've ever, as low as they've the last year. It's just tanking.
Yeah, because like when you try to take away someone's like escape, then and try to make it political or I don't know.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. So this year was an all-time low, but it was still watched by 26.5 million people.
Yeah,
but it's still the smallest, but still, it's like, okay, is it really doing that bad? But it dropped 20% since last year. That's a huge drop.
Just wait till next year then if they keep doing that.
Right. Yeah, it will drop again. I mean, it's like every time the Screen Actor Guild Awards down 30% year over year. It's just like if they were celebrating good movies and like it was actually entertaining, like you had good like red carpet interviews and you had some like backstage stuff or, but it's all about, now that's all about what political message can I squeeze into this award for a movie that made $500 million anyway.
To me, it just seems like how much can I virtue signal about how good I am or like how good this thing is based on like how good I am. I don't know.
Oh yeah, exactly. And I mean, these are the same people. If I get a little dark briefly, these are the same people that gave Roman Polanski a standing ovation.
Yeah,
a standing ovation. That guy had sex with a kid. You know what I mean? Like, fuck off. I'm not gonna watch that. Fucking
weirdos. Just be like Joe Pesci when he got his award for My Cousin Vinny, or was it My Cousin Vinny? I can't remember. No, that was oh my god, I'm going on a complete tangent. Anyway, yeah. So why can't this be like with Joe Pesci when he accepted his award and he just went, "Thank you very much," and he just walked off?
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know why
I didn't even want to be there. I get the feeling that Pesci's all right, like in real life.
I don't know why I blanked on the movie. I don't know what movie. Maybe it was Casino. I can't remember. Anyway, So anyway, another question in the chat. They want to know what your opinion is on mirroring videos.
Oh, I think I kind of alluded to it. I think, mirroring without monetizing, 100% fine. But, you should get the person's permission, I think. Like, oftentimes, I've put out a few videos in my day that explicitly said, hey, mirror this. I'm cool with that. Or if you're going to mirror it, link back to the original channel at least. And the big thing is monetizing it. If you monetize it, then that's probably not okay. Unless they say it's okay. You know what I mean? I've said, hey, mirror this, monetize it. I don't care. If I explicitly say it, then fine. Then of course it's fine.
That makes sense.
Okay, so another question. Do you think Elder Scrolls 6 will suffer the same mismanagement problems that Fallout 76 did?
Oh yeah, of course. I think. I mean, the system's broke, right? Garbage in, garbage out. So until you fix, it's like firing the head coach of your football team after they lose today.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. It's like everyone on Facebook, all my family was like, yeah, he's fired. I was like, yeah, well, Mike McCarthy wasn't missing wide open receivers all season long. Mike McCarthy wasn't dropping passes. Mike McCarthy wasn't, you have all sorts of other problems that exist in that system that just replacing one person won't fix. And I'd say that's probably true. Although Elder Scrolls, it's going to run on the same engine. It's going to have the same support people. So yes, proceed with extreme caution.
Oh, so from the same person, what would you want in an award show for video games? If they're relevant now, what would you want to see change?
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just not the target demographic.
Yeah.
The idea to like have a game of, an awards ceremony for a game that, like you're going to come out and tell me Red Dead Redemption, which is going to make $1 billion, needs an award. Fuck that. They got their reward. It's in the bank. I think it would be more relevant if they were covering lesser known games. And if it was less of a meme. I mean, they had this freaking Schick Razor guy in a fucking suit running around. It looked ridiculous. So like, if it were streamed, if it were smaller production, not so like full of itself, and they really exposed viewers to games that they may not know. Maybe if they gave out special discounts, like if you're watching the show, you get like promo code, people could save money on buying games. They could do that sort of thing as opposed to like selling out to Schick Razors and whatever else it is. Maybe identify individual teams instead of giving awards to like Rockstar. Like what about let's recognize some of the people that worked on it, maybe the story, people that put together the story, or I just think if it wasn't so superficial and so self-serving, then perhaps add some features and add some value. Like you don't need to tell me that Red Dead Redemption is a good game. That award is fucking stupid, or that, God of War, like, oh no, who's going to win? God of War, Red Dead Redemption. Who cares? They're both amazing games. Buy them both. Let's talk about something, more interesting.
You remember when Tech TV and G4 were a thing? And then
Hell yeah, I do. MXC, man. I used to watch MXC all day on G4.
Right you are, Bill.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And then what was his name? He's on there forever. Now he's on Hack My Life, which is like just boring show.
Kevin Pereira.
Kevin Pereira. Yeah. I used to watch that shows in the afternoon.
Yep.
It was
I remember like Screensavers, and then it became Attack of the Show.
Yeah, AOTS. I
on there. Ooh, crazy.
And then they had Adam Sessler on there too.
Oh my God, Adam Sessler. What happened? Ugh.
I know, dude. I know. What happened to you?
Okay, let me guess. I'm just gonna put it out there. Let me guess. Has he have you blocked on Twitter?
Oh yeah, I'm blocked.
Oh, fuck.
I'm blocked.
Oh my God. It's so. Oh, do you know why he blocked you?
No, I was pre-blocked.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, so like for me, and I know some people don't like when people tell why someone's blocked, but I don't care. I'm going to tell you because it's hilarious.
He's literally punching a Nazi in his avatar. I mean, enough said.
I used to love that guy. But anyway.
I did too.
Yeah.
What was the show that was? He had the show that was on right before AOTS. That was yeah.
So yeah, it said something. I think he said something about Trump. I mean, obviously,
of course, yeah.
And I can't remember exactly what it was, but I said something along the lines of, yeah, something about him is like 1,740 whatever number it is to me in the list of things I give a shit about. Block.
Yeah, I don't want anybody who could, like, guys like him. They don't want 220,000 followers. They want 220,000 people that agree with them.
Yeah,
like, they don't. Even like Cernovich does that too. He blocks people for disagreeing. I'm like, dude.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he does. He blocks a lot of people. And then he also is like proud of it. He'd be like, yeah, I gotta shed some more followers today, bros. I'm like, Cernovich.
Oh, God.
And like, make no mistake, like, we follow each other. I think he does some very good things. I think he's smart, but I do think he can be a bit of an SJW at times. And same thing with the blocks, you know?
I mean, why block someone when you can just mute them and have them scream into the abyss?
Yeah, I know that's boring.
Muting is so beautiful. There's only a few times I block people. It's when they've already been muted, and I get constant, because I still read my Twitter feed like all the time. I read every reply almost. So like, if constantly the people that choose to follow my Twitter account are having to like interact with somebody, and it's like a negative thing, like, they just get blocked because I know it's so important to them to be able to reply to my feed. Then like, they get on there and fuck with, annoy people who just want to have conversations. I think I have like 3 people blocked. But
that makes sense, because you don't want people who are just harassing other people.
Well, yeah, they're just, exactly. They're just, and it's like it's like a big deal to them that it's like their whole life is being on my Twitter feed. So I'm like, fuck off, blocked.
I don't know. It's ridiculous. Like I couldn't believe. I mean, and Morgan Webb seems more, level-headed. At least she'll have some. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I mean, I
don't know. I mean, the thing is, like, Morgan, I don't think ever really got anything into. She didn't get into like too much trouble.
Yeah,
I don't think. Like, I've never had her caught in some controversy. She doesn't have her like pronouns in her bio. So all initial warning signs are clear. And her feed is not full of Trump tweets. That's also good.
Well, I think doesn't she have like her own company now? And she's probably more worried about, having her company afloat than giving a fuck about, what Trump said on Twitter yesterday or something.
Yeah, you would think that, but then people that have that derangement syndrome.
Yeah, you're right.
It's crazy because like in the Magic the Gathering world, most people who are employed with the company are ultra far lefties. Look, and a lot of people will say like, oh, well, you just don't like Democrats? No, dude, I don't have a problem with. I don't have a problem with liberals. I have a problem with like insane people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll go, oh, what's Magic Artist? Okay, well, what's up with this guy? His entire feed is like tweeting about or retweeting anti-Trump stuff. And he has like 200,000 followers, and he'll get like 3 favorites. And I'm like, dude, why do you think that is? People see, this is the same thing you could look at a lot of guys in the comic book industry. Breivor, like just a ton of these guys have huge Twitter followings because the guy drew, because you draw Spider-Man, not because you have hot takes about Trump. and they just kill their following. I mean, these guys will have, like I said, 100,000 followers, and they'll get like single-digit likes on their tweets. It's like, do you know why? Did you ever stop and think maybe, like maybe that's people don't give a fuck what you have to say about the president just because you draw a cartoon character?
Yeah, it's pretty sad because they can be engaging with their audience, but instead they're just killing off their audience, I guess.
Yeah, because I see some people who are, in that entertainment industry, and they're just berating people who are even remotely disagreeing with them. And you're just like, dude, you're literally, this person could be like a huge fan of you, and then they say something that, maybe 1% off to where you align, and you're like, you're a fucking idiot. Get the fuck. You're just like, wow, how
Yeah,
are you in real life then?
All 100,000 people and call him a fucking idiot or something. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. Like, there's this one Twitter account that I do follow that's more on the anime side, and they'll talk about some people that are like in that world, and you're just like, wow, like that's some of the things that they do and say. You're just like, wow, that's really fucked up.
I know. I don't know. Maybe there's something that happens to people when they get successful. I don't know, but the idea that you would attack your own fans is really bizarre. I mean, really bizarre. You work your whole life to build up your brand. Why would you do that? And like, I also don't understand, like you look at the voter statistics, right? And you survive off other people giving you their money for dancing, on camera, and you're going to put out, I don't care if it's like, you could say pro Trump or pro Hillary, let's say during the last election. Why would you do that? Like you're going to piss off 50% of your followers.
Yeah.
Why would you even fuck with it? Just shut up. Post a behind the scenes thing in the movie you're working on, or post like a B-side from the new record that you're working on. Don't talk about like, why? I don't understand. It's like once people get fuck you money, then they just turn into the worst kind of people.
Okay, so kind of to play devil's advocate, there's going to be those people that are going to say, well, I have my opinions and I want to put them out there. Then I'll say how I feel about a certain policy that Trump's doing or something like that. And, that's fine. I think with that, if they have like a decent discussion with people and they'll talk, they'll reply with people and have a decent conversation. I know people who are in the entertainment industry and I see them have political conversations. They're not, beating down on them like, you're stupid, what the fuck, you're an idiot. They'll have a conversation. I mean, they're not going to change. No one's going to change their mind on anything, but they'll at least have a conversation and they'll be, I guess, respectful.
Dean Kane's like that, right? He'll interact with a lot of people, but the thing is,
but who was that?
What's that?
Who was that?
Dean Kane.
Oh yeah.
The I would answer that by saying I don't think. I'm not saying that they don't have a right to share their opinion. I'm saying it's a bad business decision. So, if you know that you're automatically going to put off half of your fandom and you're willing to do that because of politics, then it better be something super important, not fucking, Drumpf had a typo on his Twitter feed. Like if you want to stand tall and stand up for, you want to speak on some immigration or, big issue, tax reform, healthcare. Okay. I'm less inclined to be, annoyed by that. But when people get obsessed over it, and that's all they tweet about, then it's just bad for business. I can't think of somebody who it's been good for.
Well, Dean Kane was Superman, so
yeah, that's true. He was Superman at a time when he made no money doing it.
That's true. Yeah.
Now he does like really small budget stuff. He just had a movie come out. He seems like a really nice guy.
Yeah, he seems like a lot more of that independent type work.
Mm-hmm. I like that he roasted Tom Arnold. That was funny.
Oh God, Tom Arnold.
The CIA visited his house over his Trump tweets.
Man, crazy. It's crazy too because he'll do stand up, and I've been wanting to see a stand up because he'll come near where we live, and I mean we missed him the one time he was here, but yeah, he still does. And apparently his stand up, he doesn't really get political, which is weird. You're just like, really? That's
yeah. I wonder why. Maybe it's almost like he knows that won't sell tickets.
Yeah, maybe that's right. Yeah,
and most people that would pay to see Tom Arnold don't use Twitter.
That's true.
I mean? When I told my parents I was arguing with him on Twitter and he was like replying to me nonstop until 4 a.m, my mom could not fathom it. She's like, no, Tom Arnold? You were arguing with Tom Arnold. I said, yeah, he's a nobody now.
Like, yeah, the guy who was with Arnold Schwarzenegger in True Lies. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. That's how but they're, my mom's born in 1955 or something. So she's going on 60. She remembers Tom Arnold on Roseanne and all the movies. He did some funny movies back in the 80s. And like the guy was funny. He's just not anymore. And he's just a shell of, he's obsessed. He's like lost his mind. He's literally the They leaked the tape of the CIA talking to him. Did you see that? It's one of the most hilarious things you'll ever see because he is so scared. They're like, Tom, when when you're like retweeting people making threats against the president's life or something like that, it wasn't exactly that, but they were like, dude, fucking chill out. Like maybe tweet about something else instead of constantly, threatening the president.
All right. So we're going to end it, but I wanted to ask you a couple of lighthearted questions.
All right, go ahead.
So the first question is, and again, these are random. When you take a shower, do you rather take it when you wake up or before you go to bed?
When I wake up.
Okay. Yeah, I can't understand. Like, Shane does that too, but I can't understand it because it's like,
I don't like going to bed wet.
But why would you want to go to bed dirty though? I don't know. I'm weird.
I don't know. I guess yeah. I mean, you do make a valid point, but I don't like it. I don't like being. You know how it is when you dry off, but you're like still moist.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to get in the covers and have them like stick to me. That's not.
The only thing I kind of get about that is like I hate going to bed with my hair wet.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I suppose I'll tell you what I really do. I was answering the spirit of the question. But when I take my showers is actually at like 4 o'clock every day, because I get up.
Like
what's that?
4 o'clock in the morning?
No, 4 p.m. Sorry, 4 p.m.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, so I get up and usually I have to like shoot a bunch of YouTube videos, and then so I get right to work. I do my client work, my day job, and then I'll like take a shower at like 4 or 5 o'clock, and then either I'll go out or then I'll come back down and play some video games or something. So when I shower is usually in the afternoon. So I'm like half dirty when I go to bed, but I'm dry.
I can agree with that. That's what I do too. Because then by that time your hair's dry and like your body isn't moist when you go to bed.
Yeah. I mean, moisture in the bedroom is good, but just I don't want it on my skin.
Yeah.
Really.
Yes. Okay. So apparently I'm the bad one because I take it right when I wake up.
Yeah, you're weird. I don't know. I would fall asleep in the shower.
I don't judge you, man. I think you live and let live. I mean, you can be crazy all you want, but
yeah.
All
right. So for the last question, for the live stream of the year, is the last question.
Oh boy,
pineapple on pizza? Yes or no?
Hard no.
Oh man, we're gonna have to end it right now. Just kidding.
I've actually had it. It's not bad. I mean, I don't think it should be like genocided off the planet.
Okay,
I just think.
Okay, then.
Yeah.
Yeah, my buddy orders it from Domino's. I'm like, if I ate my half already, and I'm like, I'm still hungry. Pineapple, and he does it like with ham. That's okay. I wouldn't pay for it, but you can.
I like it with chicken.
So if
chicken's
you
good.
If you come to Dallas, though, then we can buy you a pineapple pizza.
Yeah. Dallas is. I'll be down in Houston next week, but that's a long drive. I have a client down there, so I'm down there a couple times a year.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Yeah, just let us know if you're in the area because
that's a couple like 2-3 hour drive, right, from Houston.
Well, it's about 3 hours, but I mean, like if it was over a weekend, that wouldn't be too much of a deal.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, well, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. Really appreciate it.
Right.
And thanks to all the questions in the chat. I hope I got to all of them. I hope I didn't miss any, but if I did, I'm sorry. But yeah, so if you want to remember anything from this live stream, just remember the word moist.
That's awkward. Okay.
All right,
everyone. Have a good night.
All right. Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.